I decided to give the expensive car you bought to my parents. What are you talking about? Mom and Dad are really happy with it. Wait, did you buy it to give to your parents? Yes, that's right. It's already done. If you don't agree, I'll divorce you. What, divorce? At that moment, something inside me broke. You're threatening divorce if I don't obey. Who do you think you are? Fine, I'm happy to go through with it. My name is Kathy, I'm 37 and work in an office. I live with my husband, Roger, and our daughter, Sarah, who just turned 7. Both Roger and I work, so we manage fine. Sarah is growing up well, and I'm happy in my own way, but I do have some complaints about Roger. He cares more about his parents than his own family. It's good to care for your family, but he often puts his parents before our daughter. This isn't easy for me. Even when I was in labor with Sarah, I called Roger at work to tell him I was having contractions. I asked him to come to the hospital because I was about to give birth. He said, "Sorry, my mom burned her finger. I need to go to her house." I was shocked. How could he care more about his mom's little burn than about me, his wife, about to give birth? My mother-in-law had burned her finger by touching a hot pen. It wasn't a big deal, she just ran it under cold water, and it was fine. I couldn't believe she'd called Roger for something so small, and I also couldn't believe Roger rushed to her side instead of coming to be with me. Roger works hard and is kind to me, but his focus on his parents really bothers me. It was the same on our daughter's first birthday. My in-laws were going on a trip and asked Roger to drive them. His first priority was driving them, and he didn't even celebrate our daughter's birthday with me. When he came home, he stayed in a hotel with his parents because they could get an extra room. It was hard to believe that Roger would choose a trip with his parents over our daughter's first birthday. After that, I started to lose trust in him. This kind of thing happened often, but I couldn't just divorce him. I still loved Roger, and I didn't think it was right to take her father away from our daughter so easily. He did care about her, so I thought that one day he would put her first. But since she was born, Roger has never celebrated her birthday with me. She's now 7 years old. He seems to think her birthday should just be the two of us, and I didn't want her to feel lonely. I even thought about inviting my in-laws to celebrate with us, but they refused, saying it was too much trouble to drive 2 hours to get here. It's true that it's far, but Roger never minds driving that distance to see them. But for us, it's a hassle? I think that's selfish. My mother-in-law is also selfish. She said things like she wanted me to have a boy instead of a girl and that she doesn't care about our daughter. I couldn't believe she said that. I don't think you can choose the sex of your child, and I don't think it matters. My mother-in-law is just old-fashioned and keeps insisting on a boy. The main reason Roger doesn't celebrate our daughter's birthday is that he's trying to please his mother. Roger always puts his parents first and can't say no to his mom. At one New Year's gathering at their house, my mother-in-law treated me terribly. She constantly criticized me, not just about not having a boy, but for other things too. "Kathy, why are you so slow? Look, someone has an empty cup, why don't you pour them a drink?" She made fun of me in front of the other family members, like I was just a servant. My son is great, but his wife is a disaster. Her job is just some simple office work. How does she do that without getting tired? I've told her so many times that I'm not doing data entry, I'm an engineer, but she doesn't care. Data entry is an honest job too, and I don't understand why she looks down on it. I'm sure she sees our daughter, but she ignores her. She gives gifts to other relatives' kids, but not ours, and I'm angry at Roger for never stopping her. His daughter is being treated badly, and his wife is being disrespected, but he just laughs it off. He even says, "My wife can't do anything without me," trying to look good in front of everyone. I didn't want to take our daughter's father away from her, so I tried to stay patient, but eventually, I stopped loving Roger. Then one day, Roger asked me for a favor. "Actually, there's something I want to buy." "What is it?" "A car." "What, a car?" I was surprised. Roger never cared about cars. "Why all of a sudden?" "I just thought I could get a new one. You know, I drive to my parents' house all the time, so I thought I'd like a change. We live near a supermarket, and I don't drive much, so I thought I'd let Roger handle it." "Well, it's up to you. You use the car the most." Roger looked happy, then said with a bit of guilt, "Actually, here's the thing, I'll pick out the car, and you can pay for it." Roger wanted the car for himself but couldn't afford it, so he wanted me to pay for it. The truth is, my salary supports our family, and I don't expect Roger's salary to help. When I was on maternity leave, he didn't contribute financially at all. After I gave birth, I decided to quit my job and stay home with our daughter, but since I'm an engineer, I asked my company if I could work from home, which they allowed. So, I worked while taking care of our daughter. When she was little, I thought it was selfish of Roger to spend his money on himself while I had to pay for a new car, but when Roger is in a good mood, he does take care of our daughter, so I agreed to let him buy the car. Okay. Are you sure? Thank you. Roger was so happy. He immediately started looking at car catalogs and researching online. Since I was the one paying for it, I told him, it doesn't have to be a big car, just something for the three of us. Yeah, I know. He mumbled this, and I wasn't sure if he was really listening. He went to the dealership a few times and talked to the dealer. About 2 weeks later, Roger told me he was ready to buy the car and took me to the store. He was so excited. I sat down and waited for him to tell me what to do, and suddenly, there was the car and a contract. When I saw the car the dealer had prepared, I was shocked. It was a huge, luxury minivan. Oh my God, are we really buying this? Oh yeah, it's nice. I'm really excited. Wait, I don't think we need such a big car. I mean, if we have another baby, maybe it'll be useful, but right now, it's too big for just us. Roger kept insisting it was a good choice, but I couldn't believe how big it was. Even if we had another child, this car was way too big for our family of 4. Are we really buying this? I asked again, and Roger looked frustrated. Why do you keep saying that? You're making the dealer uncomfortable. You told me to leave it to you, I reminded him. I did, but that's the problem. It's done. Roger signed the contract. Then the dealer explained the price. I was shocked. I can't pay this all at once. We need to get a loan. What? Fine. I guess we have no choice. Roger insisted the car be in his name, so we took out a loan. I would pay the loan through his account. We bought the car that way, and it was delivered to our house. Wow, it's so cool, Roger said, excited. I thought, well, if he's happy with it, why not? Then something unexpected happened. One weekend, Roger had the car keys, and I asked if we were going somewhere. Where are we going? To my parents. All right. He was leaving our daughter behind to visit his parents again. Are you taking the new car? I asked, and Roger replied happily, yes, I'm giving it to my parents as a gift. What are you talking about? They're really happy with it. Wait, you bought the car for your parents? Yes, I did. You're kidding, right? You said you wanted the car, and I agreed. If you had told me from the start that you were buying it for your parents, I would never have allowed it. Too bad, it's already bought. It's in my name, so I'll do what I want with it. If you don't agree, I'll divorce you. Divorce? At that moment, something inside me snapped. I had been trying to stay calm for our daughter, but now I was realizing that Roger was willing to push us aside for his parents. Divorce? Who does he think he is? I decided to stand up for myself. Fine, let's get the divorce. What? I don't want you around anymore. Go back to your mom and dad. Mama's boy. I wanted to provoke him, and it worked. Roger's face turned red with anger. What? You're making fun of me? Fine, let's get a divorce right now. I'll go get the papers. Roger stormed off to the city office. While he was gone, I started packing. I called my parents and told them what happened. I asked them to come pick me up and told my daughter to pack her things too. When Roger came back, he had the divorce papers. I've got it, he said, holding up the forms. The handwriting was angry and rushed, as if he couldn't wait to get it over with. Without hesitation, I signed the divorce papers. Well, I'll file it, so you can just go. I'm going, even if you don't tell me to. Roger stormed off, his footsteps loud as he left. Why did I stay married to such a person for so long? I should have left you sooner. As he walked away, I thought to myself, it's no use crying over it now. I'm just relieved to be free from him. From now on, I'll focus on being the best single mom I can be. A few minutes after Roger left, my parents arrived. Together, we finished packing up all my things, loaded them into my parents' car, and went to their house. While this was happening, I filed the divorce papers, and just like that, my divorce from Roger was finalized. It was just a piece of paper, but once I submitted it and realized that we were no longer officially married, I felt a huge weight lift off my shoulders. I immediately started thinking about finding a new place for me and my daughter to live. About a week after the divorce, I was at my parents' house when I noticed the luxury car that Roger had bought. I walked in with my daughter and saw Roger and my ex-in-laws in the living room. My mom saw us and quickly took our daughter to another room. I walked into the living room, and Roger, looking panicked, immediately started talking to me. "Oh, Kathy, what's the insurance for that car?" Roger seemed frantic as he asked, "What are you doing here? Why are you barging into our house like this?" I replied coldly, "And why are my ex-parents-in-law raising their voices? We don't want to be here either." My ex-mother-in-law snapped, "We came because of the situation, didn't we? Why are you yelling at us?" My dad, quietly furious, responded, "If that's the case, can you please leave? You're strangers to us now. We'll call the police if we need to." My ex-in-laws fell silent, clearly startled. Roger, still trying to get control, said, "Hey Kathy, what's going on with the insurance payments?" I sighed in frustration. "Did you forget what you said when you signed the contract? You insisted it be in your name. You bought the car and took out the loan in your name, so you're responsible for the insurance, too." My words made Roger and his parents look pale. Roger had insisted on putting everything in his name, but now he was facing the consequences of his choices. "I didn't even want that car," I added. "He's the one who chose it, so it's his responsibility to pay for everything." It turned out that Roger and his parents had gotten so excited about the car that they drove it recklessly. They had crashed the front of the car into a wall during a trial drive. When I got home and saw the car parked, I noticed I couldn't see the front of it. It looked like the car was already showing signs of the damage from their actions. Since I wasn't paying close attention, Roger and his parents came to me for help with the car insurance. Since the car was still owned by the loan company, they would have to get it fixed under their name. Without insurance, they were responsible for all the repair costs, including the guardrail they damaged. I couldn't imagine how much it would cost to repair a luxury car, but I knew it would be expensive. In the end, Roger and his parents returned the car and were hit with a hefty repair bill. After that, I started receiving a lot of emails from Roger asking if we could get back together. One of his messages said he couldn't pay rent or utility bills and had to move back in with his parents, but his parents were treating him harshly because of the car incident. Now he doesn't want to stay at their place, but he can't live on his own due to his debts. Roger still insists on seeing our daughter, but I think that's too selfish of him. I'm ignoring his emails. Of course, I didn't tell him where we were living, and I haven't mentioned our new house. The only thing I was worried about was if our daughter would miss him. To my surprise, she doesn't seem to care and is enjoying her life. I'm focused on protecting our daughter and providing for her. I don't believe a husband should put his parents before his own family, especially when his wife is the one paying for everything and then giving a luxury car to his parents. That's just unacceptable. Roger's actions led to his own downfall, and honestly, he got what he deserved. I hope Kathy and her daughter have a wonderful life ahead. Thanks for watching until the end. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this story, and I'll see you in the next video.